Okay, ladies and gentlemen, I introduce you the father of the bride.
Can I just say before I start my proper speech, is that on? Is that working? Yeah. Can I just say, what a day it's been, and it's a pleasure to have met all of Adam's family and friends, as well as our family. It's just been an amazing day. So can I just say thank you to all of you, because it just shows how much you think of Adam and Claire to come here today. So thank you. Adam, sorry. Slip of the tongue, Adam and Christy. Yeah. Right, here we go. Right, can I just...
Give him a lemonade, please.
Ready?
Sorry,
Ready?
Carry on.
Ready? Can I just say, Christy, you do know, out of my 3 daughters, you're my favourite youngest daughter. Yeah. Since she was born with a big bush baby eyes, which she takes after me, she's also had some of my other traits. On the good side, she's intelligent, she's good looking, she's a good football skills, and I don't know why, but she's a big supporter of Derby County. On the other side, she's got my bridge nose. She's got my sarcasm. She's got, I forgot what I was going to say then. She's got my singing ability, which is terrible, and my dancing moves, which are equally terrible. But you will witness tonight when we do dad dancing on the dance floor. Yeah, and whether this is a good trait or a bad trait, she can drink most people under the table. Now, the main thing of this speech is Christy's determination in life. It's unique and she's determined. Whatever she does, whether it be in a game of tennis tomorrow, whether it be in something in a week, whether it be in something in a year or even 5 years, she's determined to do it. And she always has. If she plays you at sport tomorrow, playing tennis, playing ping pong, whatever, and you beat her, she'll just come round with a smile on her face, shake your hand, and say, well played. But underneath that well played, it's, I'll play you again, and don't you worry, I'll beat you. Yeah. When she was, where we go now? When she was 8, she got a disease called Sydenham's chorea, which people know as St. Vitus dance. And if you don't know, it's like unique to this country. So all of a sudden she was shaking, her arms were shaking, her feet were shaking. And so you'd give her a bit of pizza and she'd on her forehead, ice cream on her ear. So she was in a bit of a bad way, and it was quite upsetting at the time. So when she was in Derby, in the hospital, there was a lot of specialists came to see her because they'd never seen it before. So when she was in the hospital, they got a video, and there was at the top of the corridor, and said, Christy walked down the corridor. Well, normally she'd have been all over the place. She walked in a straight line. Straight to the bottom, straight to the back. They couldn't believe it. And when they all left, there she was, just walking down again in her right state. But that's determination. When she was 12, she'd not scored a goal for a few games. So I says to her, I'll pay you £5 for every goal you score. That was a big mistake. Because within 2 minutes, she scored one from 20 yard. Within 15 minutes, she got a hat-trick, and at half-time, she scored 5. And I was begging the manager to take her off. And luckily he did. Yeah. Like we say, the main thing about Christy is her determination. Here we go again. So since being a teenager, me and her mum have watched with pride as the things that she's achieved. Simple and some more a bit more difficult. Simple ones like scoring on the Pride Park pitch against Ramy. Yeah, scoring a goal in the FA Cup final against Lincoln, the winning goal, 3-2. When she was at Ilkeston School, she's a patron of a charity, Every Last Drop, for a school in Gambia, helping build and water a school in Gambia, which she went out to. Yeah, then she became an FA coach at the age of 18. So all of these things, they're all determining is what she wanted to do. One of the biggest ones was to get into Loughborough University. To get into Loughborough, she needed an A-star in maths, which is difficult to do. So the amount of time she put in after school to get that qualification was amazing. She did. She achieved it and got into Loughborough. Yeah, after Loughborough, obviously, then she qualified as a teacher, which is a main aim in life. But one of the biggest achievements in Christy's life has to be her 21st birthday. We was in Salou. Right. Quite a few people around this table were here at the time. And I don't know whether you know the game, pub golf, where everybody has to go around drinking as quick as you can. The loser has a forfeit and they're out. Well, Christy got to the final round after copious amounts of drinks and a level par with her brother. So there they was. They had a straw pedo on the table and a pint. And whoever drank the first was the winner. So there they stood face to face. Straw pedo went down, the pint halfway down. Christy, our eyes never took her eyes off her brother's pint. There she was, just looking and staring and staring and staring. And it was like a scene out of Indiana Jones' Raiders of the Lost Ark. All of a sudden, she just slammed the glass on the table with a yes. And that's got to be her best achievement of her life. So yeah. Anyway, when Christy smiles, everybody smiles. And when Christy laughs, everybody laughs. Who else can be on a bus from Nottingham back to Ilkeston at 2 in the morning, or on a tram in Cologne New Year's Eve, gets up in front of everybody and goes, "Today is going to be the day." And within 3 or 4 minutes, the whole bus, tram is singing, shouting, "After all, you're my Wonderwall," and clapping. It's got to be the best time they've ever had on a bus or a tram. Yeah. Anyway, I thought the other day, I've never told Christy off. I can't ever remember telling Christy off. But you know, the trouble is, she sees me every week and tells me off every time she sees me. And that's a teacher in her. So Adam, just tell her off. You're not a teacher. Yeah. Right, anyway, Christy's name, it comes from, well, the older people remember, there was a famous supermodel called Christy Brinkley, and she appeared on the Uptown Girl video with, obviously, Billy Joel. You all know the song. And she was very classy. So that was the name, Christy, a lovely name. So that's why she was called Christy. Anyway, when Christy was 14, she told me that by the age of 24, she'd be a teacher with the BMW Z4. She became a teacher at 22, right? So at 22, we went to showrooms in Mansfield, and she drove this lovely BMW Z4. It was a cracker. So she got a big smile on her face. But when we went in the showrooms, she just looked at me and she went, "Dad, it's a lot of money, you know. What do you think?" And you wouldn't believe it. Over the tannoy, a song blasted out, Uptown Girl. It was amazing. And we just looked at each other and smiled, and she signed. All I can say today, Christy, is you are the Uptown Girl. Yeah. Yeah. Right. I'd like to thank Ray and Arlene for having such a wonderful family, friends, and a wonderful now son-in-law, who I'm sure is going to look after my daughter. They've both got the same values and outlook on life as each other, and I'm sure they're going to have a great future. So I'm very happy about that. Anyway, regarding my son-in-law, right, I can't say too much about him because he's a bit of a quiet lad, isn't he? Right, but at least he turned up on time today. And as well, about 2 years ago, a proper gentleman, he phoned me up and he says, "Craig, can I meet you in a pub at 7 o'clock tomorrow?" So I thought I'd got a good idea what I was going to talk about. So he actually says, "Can I have the hand of your daughter in marriage?" So I thought about it for a minute or two and then said, "Yeah, I'd be proud." Anyway, 2 weeks later, they went on holiday and he was going to propose. So my wife bought some flowers, bought a card, and was going to decorate the house. But this is probably typical Adam. There was no mention of a ring at all in the week when we spoke to Christy every day. When I picked him up from the airport, there was no ring on a finger. So when they got out of the car, I texted Adam, what went wrong? Because we could have adorned the house and everything. And he just said, I never found the time. But obviously, he did find the time on the next holiday. So all I have to say now is I'd like you all raise your glasses and have a toast to Mr. Adam and Mr. Christy Dukes. Thank you. Cheers. Cheers.
Thank you.
Good.
Really good. Who's next? Who's next?
Will you do a speech? I'll do a rap, you said. But to save the embarrassment, you wrote me a poem instead. Well, how can I top that? Whatever I say, it will never be worthy. So I'll just speak from the heart, say a few words, and I'll tell you a little bit about mine and Christy's journey. So looking back to 2002, you might have thought that me and Christy were like chalk and cheese. I was the girly Essex girl, and Christy was the tomboy, football-loving Derby fan. But I truly think that we brought out the best in each other. We met at Chaucer Infant School, where there was a buddy programme, and obviously Christy was part of this buddy programme. Me moving just up from Essex, I didn't have any friends, so I went and sat and ate my lunch with Christy, and we soon realised we only lived 2 minutes round the corner from each other. So the rest was history, really. From playing rounders, creating music videos, trips to theme parks in the boot of your dad's car, singing Meatloaf at the top of our lungs, to sobbing our eyes out at Marley and Me at the cinema. We truly are the definition of childhood best friends. Obviously, I've got to mention Derby County. Some of our happiest and most frustrating memories are of us at Derby County, and also some of my happiest memories of us are in us in football shirts. Nights out. I've got to mention nights out because there's been a lot. I don't know if all of you know, but Christy didn't actually used to drink. And I used to come to family parties and get drunk on WKDs, and Christy would roll her eyes, and I would declare my love for her brother. Again, more rolling of eyes, which is quite different to the let's nip for a cheeky drink that we know of Christy now. From pub golf, that's already been mentioned tonight, to riding on a mobility scooter through Salou to find Christy's phone that she'd lost, dressing up as hot dogs, and more recently on a hen-do, a Greek centaur, aka a horse, to flossing her heart out on nights out, which she's already done, I have to add. There's never a dull night out with Christy around. And one thing I can't get over of Christy is on a night out, she absolutely loves a Guinness. So I thought you would probably be missing your Guinness right now. So cheers, Christy. Oh, this is a bit, I might get a bit emotional. So, I ought to talk a bit about your husband, Adam. Firstly, let me just say that this is a rather beautiful, rather extravagant wedding when we have Mr. Money-saving expert himself as the groom. Jokes aside, I still remember meeting you for the first time. Well, not meeting you, actually. I remember the first time Chrissy told us she was meeting you. She was bringing him to Ilkeston, but that we would absolutely not be meeting him. She was doing anything she could for us to not bump into Adam on this night out. The first double date, which was at an escape room, anyone that knows Christy will know that Christy loves an escape room, to the christening into our friendship group, the team, which was perhaps more like a baptism of fire. Adam was forced to drink beer, which at the time he hated, and he ended up falling asleep on a bar stool in one of the local pubs. Fast forward a few years, a few holidays, several nights out, and we actually decided to buy a house around the corner from Christy and Adam. And that just speaks volumes as to how much Mark and I value yours and Christy's friendship. You honestly are our bestest friends, and we are so, so happy for you both. You're genuinely kind, super caring, and Christy, I know you'll hate this one, funny person. I couldn't wish for more for my best friend, and I know that I'm so grateful to have you in the memories that we're going to make moving forward. So I just want you to raise a quick glass for me to my brother-in-law, Adam. I'm not done yet. Not done yet. Not done yet. I've got the soppy bit about Christy now, so God help us. So, Christy, I want to say thank you. You are the most wonderful sister, sister-in-law now, auntie, and best friend. You are the centre of all of my happiest memories. You are there. And I'm genuinely so grateful to have you. And I couldn't be happier to have played a part in your beautiful day in this beautiful place. I said this during an impromptu speech on your hen do, but I'm going to say it again, sober this time. I wouldn't be the person that I am today without you, and I couldn't picture life without you by my side. You're the person that I can always depend on, and you're the person that I couldn't live without. I love you always. So please, will you raise your glasses to the beautiful bride? I can't wait to see you bust your moves on the dance floor later.
Honestly, well done. Now have a drink. Have a drink, Laura.
Yes. Who's next? Can we pass them through?
Well done, George.
Right, firstly, can everyone hear me at the back? I know we've got half of the congregation are teachers, so I just want to get a taste of your own medicine. Can everyone hear me at the back? Well done. Right, cheers, Chris. Welcome, ladies and gentlemen, and thanks for joining us to celebrate what is the hottest but happiest day of my life. I don't want to take up too much of your drinking time, so I'll keep it brief. Planning a wedding abroad can be a challenging experience, but knowing that we have such an incredible support system in our lives has made it all worth it. We're so grateful for every effort you made to be here, for the time, resources you spent to come celebrate with us. For those of you who aren't teachers or don't have kids, welcome to school holiday prices. As a token of our appreciation for you all joining us here today, and for completing what seemed to be a never-ending amount of Google Forms, I thought me and Christy have organised a boat trip for everyone tomorrow. Hopefully, I'll recover better than I did on my stag do. To Christy's bridesmaids, Georgia and Gemma, you have been such a huge source of support and guidance for her. Your friendship has been constant in her life, and your presence here is a testament to the deep bond you both share. Georgia, your attention to detail and planning skills are what made Christy's hen do extra special. Thank you for organising, by the sounds of it, a great weekend away in Liverpool. I now know why Joe copied all of your plans and the itinerary. To my groomsmen, thank you for standing by my side on my special day. Firstly, Nick, if you've seen your dance moves already, is the other bald guy. Your friendship means so much to me, and we've come a long way since our Loughborough days. Well, all but our hair has. Chris, growing up, we shared everything together. We were more than siblings. We were an unstoppable team. From tennis, table tennis, after-school clubs, even the same university, I copied you at everything. Right up until you started doing Wallace and Gromit impressions at the end of a night out. That was just something I could not follow. Then there's Joe. Growing up, it's fair to say we didn't always see eye to eye. From breaking my Connects masterpieces to stealing my Easter eggs and selection boxes, it's not hard to understand why we didn't get along. However, since becoming adults, Since becoming adults, I can honestly say our relationship has never been stronger. Thank you for organising a great stag do. I know you love organising these sorts of events. However, I do appreciate the amount of hours you have spent pulling it all together. I can now join a very long list of people who are waiting to get their own back one day with you. So hurry up and get down on one knee. Andrew, growing up due to the age difference, 7 years, and being the youngest in the family, Andrew spent the majority of his time with us playing football in the garden, in goal, which many of you have come to realise, even on our first night out, that with me, Joe, and Chris playing football isn't that much of an achievement. Joe's penalties always landed in the neighbours' gardens. I suppose it's better than smashing living room windows. Thanks to you for finally calming down after that episode. Since Andrew has reached adulthood, his obsession with terrible shirts, never wanting a night out to end, and always having a Jaeger bomb or two at hand has become somewhat of a regular occurrence. Thank you for standing by my side today, Andrew, and no doubt wanting the party to continue into Zante Strip later and long into the night. To Christie's parents, Craig and Deb, I think it's fair to say when we both met, I believe you were thankful that I didn't support Nottingham Forest, but somewhat disappointed when I didn't like beer or supported Derby County. However, over the years, I've become accustomed to a beer or two, and now I am a Derby season ticket holder. However, as a 13-year-old boy, thanks Will, because there is no way I'm paying full adult price to watch League One football. Evidently, I would have done anything to seek your approval. At this point, it's a bit of a tradition to thank you for welcoming me into your family, but it feels strange for me to do that, as you've made me feel like a part of your family for many years now. As parents, you have provided Christy with a strong foundation, instilling her with values to make her the remarkable person she is today. One day, we'll become parents, and I have no doubt that Christy will be a great mum because of the things you've taught her. Today, as I join your family, minus the surname, I want to assure you that I will always love and protect your daughter. I promise to support her in the highs and in the lows. Thanks, Greg, Deb. Now to my parents. Firstly, my mum, who was delighted when I introduced Christy into the family home for the first time. Of course she was. She's Pam. I could just see her imagining girly trips out to the shops and to the hairdressers. I think we can all picture her reaction when she found out Christy likes football more than us boys and loves nothing better than on a Saturday to watch Gillette Soccer Saturday with a beer or two, watching her 16-game accumulator not come in. Then there's Dad, the yes man. For those of you who don't know why we call him this, it's because he can never say no. Whether that's playing football in the garden until we run out of light, picking us up from anywhere and everywhere, or bailing Joe out of another hole he's got himself into. Mum, Dad, you are both a formidable team, a role model couple, and your love and guidance have helped me become the person I am today. So I'd like to take this moment to say thank you for everything you've done and continue to do for me, Christy, and of course, Louis. Now to my wife. We've come a long way since our official first date, where I was actually late as I was getting hair gel in Asda. Luckily, you weren't interested in a strong hairline. I don't often say how proud I am of you of what you've achieved. From teacher trainer to head of PE within 5 years is an outstanding achievement. And it's fair to say, in the 8 years we've been together, we've achieved quite a lot. Some of the highlights for me have been travelling the world to some great destinations, spending Christmas Day with family and friends, buying a house, watching our closest family and friends get married, getting our four-legged friend Louis, and of course, travelling 200 miles on a cold Tuesday night to see Shrewsbury Town versus Derby County FC. It was a blinder, everyone. 0-0. Now about you, something I don't talk about enough. I love your calm and considerate approach to life. It makes spending time with you effortless. You are beautiful inside and out, and I often forget how funny and smart you are. Sometimes I struggle to understand what you see in me when I describe you, because it feels like I've hit the jackpot. Continue being you, as you're an incredible best friend, and I'm so lucky to now call you my wife. For the future, I promise to be your partner in all things, to stand by your side through the good times and the bad, and always put our love and commitment first. So let's raise a glass to love, new adventures, and a lifetime of happiness. Cheers.
Well done. Well done, Miss Michigan.
Looking like it.
I got 3 drinks on again. Come on, Joe! Come on, Joe!
Hello, can you hear me? Good evening, everyone. You all right? Good evening, good evening. Good evening. Hi, everyone. Thanks for coming. For those who don't know me, I'm Joe. I'm Adam's younger brother. Now, before I start here, I hope I do a really good job. As Adam said, if I do, I get to be best man at his next wedding. I'm only joking, Christy. Now, before I dive into this speech, I just want to say a massive thank you to everyone who came out to support and celebrate this day between the marriage of my older brother Adam and my new amazing, legendary sister-in-law Christy. I'm so happy I get to call you that now, by the way. Now, being asked to be best man is one of life's biggest honours. But to be honest, when Adam asked me, I was really shocked, considering he denied any relation to me to all our teachers in school throughout secondary school. So, cheers, Adam. I'm shocked. But this is a chance for me. This is a real chance for me to give you guys an insight into what growing up as a younger brother of Adam looks like. Now, growing up, we had some amazing family memories. My mum and dad raised 4 boys. All of us were completely different. We had Chris. Where's Chris? He was the eldest. He was the bossiest. He's the one we all looked up to. Adam was the creative, competitive, organised one who couldn't do anything wrong. I was somehow the centre of all the chaos and trouble, and it just revolved around me. And then Andrew was our little minion who just did anything we did because he was the youngest. Now, being a younger brother of Adam was an interesting life. I've been there through pretty much everything and seen him develop into the person he is today. Now, I know what you're all thinking. Good old, reliable, sensible Adam. There won't be anything in this speech that isn't just that. I want to take you back through the ages and tell you that Adam wasn't always the man you see before you today. Growing up, I've seen some very questionable things, and unfortunately, one of my earliest memories was when I was about 5. He used to chase me around the house butt naked with pegs on his willy. It's true. He had about 10 of them. But he used to try and chase me down, put me on the floor, and then put pegs on my willy. He's even weirder. God knows what you're seeing in Christy. Then at about the age of 10, he became a little bit less silly. But this is when his competitive side come out. Growing up, we used to have so many lovely family holidays that give us some of the greatest memories. Now, as kids, we'd all pack our normal stuff, you know, Game Boys, flip-flops. Adam would be sat in the corner, spit shining his table tennis bat because he wanted to annihilate all the other 10-year-olds on holiday. Now, this actually worked, and he did. He obliterated them all. But he'd still come back sobbing and crying. And when I used to say, Adam, why are you crying? You've won. He was annoyed that they wouldn't let him into the adults league to beat them too. He still definitely got that competitive streak. At the age of 12, and by this point, he had cemented himself as undeniably the favourite child. I know, 100%. I know my mum and dad are there right now saying I don't have favourites, but he was. He was the golden child, right? And he was smart. Even at 12, he knew this. So we spent a lot of family holidays going over to Ireland, spending time at the Nutty O'Leary's house. Yeah, we spent a lot of time over there. Now, as I said, as I said, I was somehow the centre of all the chaos, and Adam knew this. So when we went to bed at night, my mum would hate it when we disrupted her. She used to enjoy having a few bottles of wine with my auntie Sandra, and she would separate me from any of the other kids, right? So I was on my own. Now, as I mentioned, I was the centre of all of the chaos, right? And Adam knew this. So just before I drift off to sleep, past midnight, I'd hear the door creak open, and Adam would be stood there with my older cousin James. He was there too. And he'd come in, and for no reason, I didn't do anything. He used to steal my quilt off me and throw it down the stairs, right? Now, I had two choices. I could either stay up there and freeze to death because their house was like an igloo, or I go downstairs and brace the wrath of my mum and my auntie Sandra. And he used to stand there and he said, "Go on, go and get it." I didn't do anything at the time. So as I used to get out of bed, James and Adam would stand there like hawks watching over me as I tiptoed down the stairs, knowing every step I take, I'm getting deeper and deeper into the danger zone. Till eventually I'm right outside the door. And as I look up, Adam would be going, "Wait, not yet, not yet." And I'd get just outside what felt like the gates of hell, and he'd go, bang, bang, bang. All of a sudden, my mum would come out, eyes full of vengeance, raging like a pit bull. She'd grab my ear and go, "Joe, it's always you! What are you doing here? It's always you!" I couldn't say anything. He wasn't always the golden child, I'll tell you that. Now, oh, hang on. Sorry, one sec. Oh, I've lost it anyway. I know, it's just fine. But there was this one story, my last one, that I wanted to tell you. I've been waiting about 15 years to tell this. And I want to look at Adam as I say it. This was in Turkey when I was about 14 years old. Now, we were very lucky. My mum and dad had a house in Turkey, so we spent a lot of family holidays over there. And one time I brought a mate out with me, and I was about 14, 15, and I decided that I wanted to try alcohol for the first time. Now, I learned, as I mentioned, all the chaos revolved around me, and I basically learnt the hustle early that if I said to my mum, "Mum, I want to go out for a dinner with my mate," she'd give me the money and I'd go out and spend it all on Turkey's worst kebab. And that's what we did. My mum was none the wiser. So about an hour of trying Turkey's finest raki and drinking more, Adam came out, and I thought, yes, good old reliable Adam. He'll be able to have an alibi for me. So we carried on drinking more of Turkey's finest raki, till eventually, the end of the night, I'm leaving the bar, I've got my arms round Adam, legs feeling like jelly, and Adam's taking me home. Now, as we walked home, I thought, I've got away with this is a right touch. Adam takes this time to one-up me, throw me completely fully clothed into the pool, face first, and I'm standing there drowning on Turkey's finest raki while Adam's walking off to tell Mum exactly what I spent my money on. But all jokes aside, and like all brothers, we've had our ups and downs. It's been amazing having Adam as a brother, and I speak for all three of us when I say that. Some of the qualities that come to mind when I think about Adam is he's as loyal as they come. He'll always tell you the truth even if it hurts. He's one of the fairest people I know. He's kind and you can rely on him no matter what, and he'll always put others before himself. So Adam, even though you're a weird little kid who used to have a strange obsession with pegs, you've grown up to become an absolute legend and someone that has had such an impact on my life and the people's lives you surround yourself with. Don't ever change and keep being the legend you are. I'm wrapping it up now, hang on. Christy, you look beautiful, by the way. I'd like to say a huge thank you to Craig and Debbie. You have raised an incredible daughter. She truly is a credit to both of you. I remember when I first met Christy, she came on a night out in Brighton, and in pure Christy style was the first one at the bar and came straight over to me and challenged me to a down-off. Before I could Before I could answer, she interrupted and said, "There's no excuse. I've already got your pint here, duck." Now, duck means mate to anyone who's not from the Midlands. Was first what I realised. And then all of a sudden she ended up getting what I call the Christie drunk eyes, which I hope we'll see tonight, and I'm sure most of you have seen before. She was full of happiness and had this great ball of energy around her. She couldn't stop smiling, and I remember her ping-balling around the dance floor, doing some very questionable dance moves, and even doing the bounce like she's doing the bounce at Derby. One sec, sorry. But besides that, meeting Christy, I knew immediately that she had a massive heart of gold, one of the best sense of humours you can ask for, a strong moral compass, and an incredible aura to make people feel good and happy around her. So Christy, I'm so happy to call you my sister-in-law. I know that spark will never die as long as you hit 100 years old. All right, this last bit. Adam and Christy, we love you guys as a couple. You are so fun to be around, and you bring a smile to everyone's faces. You have fun wherever you are, especially with each other, whether it's going to the pub, spending time with your family and friends, or seeing your favourite bands live. It's clear to see that everyone that you two are completely made for each other. Adam and Christy have started an amazing life for themselves in Derby. You can tell they are really happy there, and they have even given my parents their first little granddog, little Louie. One of the thank yous I want to extend is to Adam and Christy's close friendship group, as they have really welcomed my brother as one of their own, and seeing how comfortable he is in Derby around all of you is very warming for the rest of our family to see. So a massive thank you to you guys for that, and of course Christy for putting up with him. To close off this speech, I'd like to say a big thank you to Adam and Christy. Thank you for inviting every single one of us here this week to celebrate your wedding with you. Look at us, we're up in Zante, we're living life right now. It's a brilliant time. I think everyone in the room will agree from that round of applause that we'll be forever grateful for you. But my final thanks is to you, Christy. Thanks for being the best thing that ever happened to Adam. You're awesome and we all love you, and I couldn't be happier for the both of you. And if Adam turns out to be half as good at being a husband as he has been a brother to me, Chris and Andrew, then you have a wonderful life ahead of you. With that being said, if everyone could join me in raising a glass to the two legends and newly married couple, Adam and Christy. Cheers, Adam and Christy. Thank you, cheers, thanks.